Lego people of Middle-earth wallow in the forest due to illiteracy. Optimus Primer asks you to donate 50 cents to aid our efforts in helping the Lego citizens of Middle-earth to read.
Megan is a literacy worker.
I work for SIL International. We do a lot of linguistic development, a lot of work with small languages around the world that maybe previously haven't been written, but would like to be written, and so we help them develop writing systems and develop a set of books that they can. This is a good example of what we call a primer, which is one of the first books that we often design for languages. For every letter in the language, you have to count whether it every time it comes at the beginning of a syllable, at the end of a syllable, or somewhere else in a syllable. If we were to make a primer for English, we wouldn't teach the letter X first. How many words can you think of that have the letter X? So just to take a simplistic approach to counting letters, let's count the number of times that T occurs at the beginning of a syllable on this page. So starting off at the top, we have 2, 1, teach, 2. And it's actually a painstaking, awful process trying to count the letters in those texts by hand. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 65.
That took forever.
Right?
So you're not just counting words in your sample documents, you're also counting words in the documents that you're making yourself.
Yes.
So there's frequency counts, the teacher guide, the planning document, and the primer itself.
You made some changes about the very first lessons. You needed to reorder them. And it changed everything else.
So it would be really useful for you if that was all synchronized, if you could put it in one place and it would go to all the other places.
Right, it would be great if I could type, edit a story in the primer itself and then just know that it was counting the words that I used. Yeah, the teacher's guide, depending on how it's designed, might not be hooked exactly into the individual lessons that are made in the primer. It would be great if I could type, edit a story in the primer itself and then just know that it was counting the words that I used. Yeah, so primers need to look nice. They need to kind of flow through the page so that people understand, so that teachers understand how to use them and how to teach through them, and students can kind of follow along with that. If you could also add something with collaboration, that would be great. Many of them have not used computers before.
So we're going to this design session right now.
We have to come up with a product. I don't know how we're going to do that.
Yeah. Let's go to the graduate lab for mission studies.
That's what I say. That's what we're doing.
It's locked.
It's locked.
So we found this sub.
What if we were to combine the two?
That's good.
Okay, yeah.
Transformers!
Wait, but that versus this. I mean, I think we need to vote. 2, 3.
We made a prototype.
So why don't you go ahead and upload a source document?
We call it Optimus Primer.
Okay, so I'm selecting from a list of languages. Ooh, Elvish. That's very fun.
And once you're done with that, it gives you a list of occurrences that it has of each grapheme, and it suggests an order based on those.
E was used very frequently. The P and the Q together were used a lot, which I wouldn't have expected. Okay, so then, so I've got kind of my raw data here, and then it says continue to lesson order.
And we'll do some highlighting, so the thing on the right and the left, they'll be highlighted so you can see if they're linked or not. And when you edit something on the left, it also gets it on the right, and vice versa.
Oh, Oh, okay, yeah, so it goes back and forth in both directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of our frustrations when we were doing the process, that sometimes we would write text or we'd modify something in our text and then we'd have to go back to our planning document and redo all of our counts and like copy paste whatever we'd done into it, and it was just a lot of overhead. I'm very excited about this project and that it might possibly allow humans to do what they're good at and then have the computer kind of take care of some of the grunt work.
Thank you very much, Maggie.